Baby, straight to the fire.
Straight to the fire.
Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Breaking Bad. It is Wednesday night, April 17th, 9 p.m. I have my buddy here, Michael Ham. I hope he's my buddy. I can consider my buddy, my good friend Michael Ham. Also, he keeps me real sometimes, keeps me in check. How are you doing, Michael? How's it been, man? How are you doing? It's been a few weeks since
I'm
we
doing
caught
good.
up.
Yeah, no, it's been good. Busy with life. You know how that goes.
Oh yeah. What's new and exciting for you in the
Not
hobby
much in the
world?
hobby. I mean, I had a show this past weekend. I haven't put that video out yet for the Clearwater show. Um, the one thing that was a little surprising me is CGC was there taking submissions, but I didn't. They didn't advertise that they were going to be there. Both the Twitter and CGC. It was like a last minute thing that they ended up popping up because they're just south of us in Sarasota from Tampa, like 45-minute drive, maybe 30.
You know,
But I did find out they will be at the next Tampa show next month. So not this month, but later next month at the Tampa show, they'll be there again taking submissions. So I ended up having to go home, pick up some video games I want to get it graded because I didn't want to ship them because they're kind of valuable.
yeah.
And I basically went back across the bridge, grabbed them, went straight back over there, got there about 30 minutes before the end of the show, and submitted those. So we'll see how that goes.
Nice. Now, are you keeping those for PC, or we
for
resell
for
them?
a while. Listen, at the end of the day, none of this stuff's PC. I don't want to die with it.
Yeah.
Unless it's something extremely non-valuable. At the end of the day, I won't end up with all of this, so it doesn't really matter.
Oh, say, did you hear the interview I talked about with JSA
Mhm.
and on Sports Card Madness, where they're going to have slabbing cards, authenticated
So I
autographs?
asked them. So I took a comic book with me there too. That's done by a famous artist for Marvel Masterpiece and early days. So one of one, he never ever did a comic book cover, a real sketch. For one was kind of him doing a test, and I have the box that it came in from his house, his company, and then I have the link because I bought it off Facebook, and I have also the photo match, screenshot of that, that I purchased it from him directly. And the guy was like, "Right now, we can't really do much for this. Otherwise, we can just grade the comic itself, but we can't authenticate the signature or anything. Even though you have all the information, until the JSA thing really kicks on." He's like, "We're just not doing it yet." So I said, "Okay, I'll just
Yeah.
hold off on that."
It's going to be cool, though. I would say, listen to that interview. First of all, what I was shocked by, so I forget the guy's name, Spencer, Jason Spencer, James Spencer. They created PSA DNA,
Mm-hmm.
and they're the ones that trained Steve Grad, who's over at Beckett. And he even kind of talked about it's a small community. Like they respect
Massively small, like you don't the grading card community from the guys that are still there,
grading
especially
autos.
all the way across. It doesn't matter all the way across. There was the same
Yeah.
group of people. People just specialize in other things, but those same guys that were next to them learned, so they
Yeah.
became specialists themselves. So it
Well,
goes a lot farther
again,
than you.
what my comment would be, man, just don't sleep on CGC. I think they're going to do a lot of cool things. They're not going to like compete with PSA as far as I think resale value, but they're going to be slabbing the whole autograph and comics, autographs and cards. Like I think a good play for them is TTM cards. If you get it through the mail, I think I'd take that to CGC when they have the GSA part, so you can get it authenticated and slabbed. Also, like I'm a big fan of Funko Pops with autographs on them, right? So if I get an autographed Funko Pop, I'm going to look at those guys as an option as well.
I
So
do
I thought
still
that was
wish they
pretty cool.
kept the old label for at least the comic style cards. I did like that blend where it kind of looked like the graded comic book, but
Yep.
card size. I do miss that. I wish they at least gave you an option. I mean, it's only just printing, so um, that would be a suggestion for me because I do like it better. But if you're going to grade any card and it's going to be a high grade and you're hoping to get a 10, you got to go PSA for resale, and majority of people are
Yep.
grading for resale.
Yep. That reminds me. I just heard today Taylor Swift has comic books coming out.
Oh boy.
Did you hear that? I think
I
that's kind of
mean, it
cool.
doesn't surprise me. I'm surprised she didn't have a cereal yet either. So,
Well, that's I can't grade a
Taylor,
cereal box.
yes, you can. Oh, yes, you can, buddy.
Really? I can grade it now?
Yeah, they put it in a big old case and grade it. It's just like they do with the toys.
I did not know that. I knew they could seal them. But anyway, yeah, she's got. So if anybody watching, I just heard it tonight on the news. I think it's Friday. She's dropping some comics. I saw a bunch of different variations. I'm not gonna lie to you, dude. If I could get them, I'm not gonna go out of my way for it. But if I can remember on Friday and I figure out the drop or whatever, and I will grab a couple Taylor Swift
Easy
comic
money.
books.
It's easy
Well,
money.
not
You're
just
gonna
that. I
sell
have some
out.
Taylor Swift friends. I have some fans.
doesn't
who are,
matter.
who are
There's so
Swifties.
many fans, it's going to be ridiculous. That'll sell out in 3 seconds. All the card guys. Remember,
Yeah.
most card guys I've gotten in the hobby lately, or in the last couple of years, they were also flippers of other things. They just
Yeah.
migrated
Yeah.
towards the thing that was most popular.
Well, I tell you what I like about that. My thoughts are that'd be a great item to get and then autograph if you could in the future.
Yeah,
You
it's
know what
gonna
I'm
be
saying? Like
tough.
I agree. It'd
That's
be
it.
very tough, but
The only way you're doing is in person, as in you're stalking them outside of a hotel for 5 hours and hoping to God they come out and sign it.
I got a little daughter. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, I just thought that was kind of interesting. Any breaks? You been any breaks recently? Doing any breaking?
No, I'm kind of holding out for Bowman right now, baseball to come out.
Fair.
There are a few places that usually I go to on the blowout forums to break because they'll do multi cases.
Yep.
Or it's like maybe, I don't know, in the past, I don't know what the price is now because everything's inflated, but it would be like $250 for one random team or player based on how big the break was. Because I've been in
Yep.
5 case breaks before where it's like 2 jumbo and 3 regular, and it'd be 250 a spot, and it's just at random, and you just pick when it's your turn,
What are you?
or straight random. But
You're buying those. You're not Fanatics Live user, right? Because they're
no,
not
no, no. This was on the blowout forum, especially when Houdini was doing his breaks.
Okay. Yeah.
Over there, I would always get into Houdini because Houdini lives in Clearwater, so it's right across the bridge. So shipping for me is extremely quick. And if I hit something big, I've talked to him on the side. He's like, "I'll meet you."
You can meet him. Yeah.
And he'll give it to me, so I don't have to worry about shipping it.
Do you use Fanatics Live though? No, right?
I look at it. I don't use it. Every one of those things, I don't like the idea of having to wait for something to break. It drives me nuts to sit there and go for 2 hours for me to wait to see what's going to happen for me to break. I cannot stand it. I want to buy what I want right away, and I've tried to figure out a way if they could put a pop-up on the screen, especially for card breaks, or for card sales, to where I knew what card was coming up next. Or if they I keep telling people, line them up behind you so I can see Murderer's Row coming up, so I can figure out if I'm interested.
I also think they do a terrible job with the replays. I don't know where to find the replays.
Mr. Mangini, I'm glad to see you're alive.
Yeah, aren't you glad he's alive, dude? I won't lie to you. I heard that he was passed away on that Sunday.
No. There was no disturbance in the force. He was fine.
But the thing was, he hadn't posted a video for a few days. I'm like, is something wrong? Like, I did reach out to a few people who knew him, and I got a response back. He was okay, and I do appreciate his video. So it's good that he is alive. And I have to say, the washing card video was my favorite. That was my favorite video. I have a video coming out tomorrow that's a little funny video. I hope you guys will enjoy that. Well, I'm not going to talk about it now, but it's inspired by Mr. Mangini. I love those creative joking videos, so I'm like, I got to do something similar. So you'll enjoy this one. Anyway, we're talking about breaks. So the reason I bring up Fanatics Live, I have gotten credits from them. Like twice I've received a $25 break credit, and twice I've just gone in and find a cheap break, $30, $25, and I buy the spot and I just wait in the mail to get something. But I can't watch the break. So you're right. I don't wait around for it. It kind of annoys me. I did get my $60 break credit, and I use that as well, another break. But I have no idea how I did. And I'd say that does annoy me. Like other breaks that I get into are normally Facebook or YouTube, so I can rewind.
You're waiting for surprise packages to come in the mail. You're like, what the hell is that?
I am waiting. I'm hoping. And I'll be honest, every package I've ever opened, I think to myself, why the hell they mailed this to me? Like, you could have kept this shit.
I know. I have a guy that I break with, and I'm like, just please give all my cards to kids. Don't even keep a little slot for my stuff. Just give them. I don't care who you give them to, just not me.
Yeah. Like I use Mojo Breaks. I use Mojo Breaks where I buy on websites. I'll hit Facebook groups, but I normally have a replay, right? Or watch it later on. I did do another Monopoly break, $15. Had the Spurs and a couple other teams. I did very well on it, man. I did very well. I got a purple Wemby, got like 4 base Wemby, and then I got a base Prism in the Prism Mega Box, whatever. I mean, I did very freaking well on that one.
It's kind of like you've been your sweet spot.
Well, I'll tell you, to me, I just think Prism and Wemby is an easy, I don't mean this the wrong way. It's an easy break to get into because if you hit one of them, and you grade it, you're going to get some money back right now. You're making money on it.
My biggest thing with the Prism Monopoly versus Prism regular is at what point does the Monopoly become appealing versus the regular? Like, what's that price point? What's that version of that card? And rare, obviously, like the one you got, that's pretty rare. It doesn't matter.
Well,
it's default in a different bracket.
Here's my thought. If you fast forward, are you going to want a Prism Monopoly Wemby, or are you going to want a Court Kings or a Recon? Or
I'm just going to go Prism if I'm looking for it.
I agree, but people who can't afford Prism I think the next level down will be the bastard child, Prism Monopoly, right?
Maybe.
Even
I
like
mean,
the
time's
Prism
gonna tell.
Toy.
I mean, I understand what the process that you're thinking of, but
Yep.
I'm also a very aesthetically card pleasing
Yep.
person. So like Revolution and a couple of those cards that pop where you
Well,
can get some fun inserts of the rookie version that look better. I do like, but at the end of the day, if you're looking for straight cash sales, it's always going to be Prism.
yeah. Well, I agree with you. Let me point this out. The reason I'm doing so much Monopoly is dollar value. It's
Mhm.
the best dollar value that I've seen. Because again, when right now you're getting one Wemby per four boxes, right? And a Wemby graded is roughly $50 in a PSA 9 right now. I mean, that's almost like getting a rebate, like a MVP rebate.
I mean,
The
my thing
Prism
is
is
with
not as
him is
easy.
I think he's again part of that new generation talent that we have in the league. I mean, what are you going to do to stop the guy? He basically takes 2 steps from the 3-point line and he's damn near
Yeah.
dunking the ball. I mean, he
Well,
can't
I'm
touch anything.
selling him. I'm selling him too. The only thing I'm going to hold,
I
to be
think
honest,
long term is great.
my plan with Wemby is my profit will be to buy a Wemby autograph with one of the drops. Hopefully they do a couple of the drops. So I'll put that. And also I'll probably keep the red ice or the pink ice that I have. If that comes back a 9 or 10, I'll keep that for my PC. And that's
Have you
the
gotten any
Prism.
word back on the gold?
No, but I'm very happy with where it is. I really am.
Okay.
I really am. I mean, I feel like I'm kind of playing with house money. Worst case they do is send it back to me in its same condition and with a big middle finger. I actually think if I wait long enough, like I'm hoping it hangs out there, and then I start peppering them like in June about, hey, can I get some black boxes?
No, to wait for the card. They can reprint that card, Ziggy.
Really?
They have a print. They have printers. All these places have printers that they don't have to go to the big printer to print.
Hold on. Do you really think they could remake and will remake that one card?
Why can't they?
Because I think it'd be too expensive. Because to make one, and if so, that's
a card that big. A card that big, it's too expensive to put the thing on for 2 minutes to spend $3.
I'll just say, dude, that concerns me. Because what stops some rogue fucking employees getting in there and making a couple other ones? I don't know. I'm just surprised.
You know how it is in the hobby. We've seen cards that are one of ones have more than one of one. So
I understand.
Obviously, nothing stops them. So don't worry about that. Enjoy what you enjoy, get what you get, and do what you do.
Well, I will say I'm patient on it. I'm not sweating it. It's in Panini's hands.
Yeah.
I'm moving on. I'm not worried about it. And in fact, I'm still so happy with all my freaking. I'll tell you, here's another quick thing. When we try to transition to the PSA, I have 3 orders in PSA. The first one I sent in was 22 base Monopoly Prism Wembys, 22 of them. Okay. Then I sent in 47 mixed cards.
You got like $1,000 of grading at PSA.
47 is already. I think it's like $600. 47 is already in grading, and the 22 Wembys is still in research and ID. And I'm thinking to myself, how hard is it to research and ID the same damn card 22 times?
It's like not that. It's where it went.
It's
where it went when it went. It's where it went when it went somewhere. Is the best way to put it. I was just in chat earlier.
I understand. It's just I'm not gonna.
And he's like, his stuff's coming back from New Jersey. He sent it to California, so it went to California, then went to New Jersey to get graded, and then it's coming back from him from New Jersey to him.
Well, I've also had I don't know if you're using PSA or not.
But they won't let you.
My predicted dates are still June. Like they're predicting the delivery date is June 6th and June 11th. And I would be shocked if it takes that long, honestly, because like I said, one's in grading, the other one's in research.
Everything's popping quicker. Everything's popping quicker.
Yeah,
it won't.
And then I have another order coming through my subber on Friday that will arrive. That's blind to me. I do not know these grades. I don't even know which
subber. It feels like subbers are getting stuff back a little bit quicker than the individual right now. But I mean, subbers I've known in the past do have specific graders that grade accounts. So if you have like KK down here, he has a massive account. He has a direct set of graders that work directly with his account as well as others, but they handle big accounts. So they have a back and forth for problems. So it's not a big issue. It's easier for them to deal with because they're dealing with, hundreds of thousands of dollars a year.
I'll be honest. I'm not going to complain about PSA. I was upset. I think they did fairly. Here's what I'll say. It shocks me that a factory crease is 4 points off a fucking card grade. Like that really shocks me.
It's probably per millimeter.
I mean, because I'll be honest, like my thoughts are like, what happens? It's a ding corner equal to 4 points. I mean, that's a huge ding.
Again, this is where we don't know how grading companies grade, and they all think that whatever they're doing is more special than the next one. When they're all doing the same thing. And again, my biggest gripe about grading, and this is why I want the whole digital grading, is because we need some type of uniformity to it. So we know, okay, 4 sharp corners. Okay, if one's got a little white on it, what does that ding cost? What if 2? And if it's on the back, what's the number on that? Is it as big as the front? That's the type of stuff we don't know. There's no scale that
Yep.
we know, or at least I know of. Maybe somebody else would know of.
Yep. Well, again,
shows us how a card breaks down per point.
Yep.
To know how what it would grade. I don't know that.
I think it should also be, like I said, an industry standard thing, like somebody should agree upon. I'm studying up on my Magic. Well, again, I do think, again, it's very subjective. That's the thing, is that any one company, like PSA, can have standards, but their standards can change, and the people they train are the people they train.
We already know all their
they went to, say, a university's grading company, and then they come over with a grading degree from the University of Virginia, and then I just think that could be a lot more legit. In fact, I'll be honest, that's my whole thing with cards, the Kurt's Card Care, which I'll say that you watched the video there with Jeremy Lee, right?
Twice.
You were live that
watched
night.
It twice. I want to do a video on it that's probably going to piss some people off, but I don't.
Well, I'll be honest, I thought Kurt did a very good job.
He did fine.
Even his answers, which were kind of creative, I thought he did a very good job position. What I thought was interesting is that he had this line of, like, I think trimming is wrong. I was like, that's interesting. That's so funny, Well, I'm sure the other guy would complain that I think removing a crease is wrong. So it's interesting, his perspective. And let me say this too. I think Jeremy Lee did his best work that night. I really did.
Jeremy's been doing this long. He understands it. He did the right thing by ignoring chat too and not getting caught up in everything that we were doing, because the chat was its own thing at that point.
Yeah, I didn't see chat because I was recorded. I was watching recorded. I didn't see chat.
Okay. Well, if you go back and rewatch it, chat's live when you rewatch it, so you can do it.
I didn't realize that. I guess because I'm listening in my car, so I wasn't paying attention to chat at the time. But
one of the things that was interesting is like I said, I watched the video again twice. So the first time you're living in the action, the second time you're really paying attention or listening to it. And one of the things he had said, I guess he had just done an interview with Beckett, which I find got blown completely over. Like, okay, where's that at? Can I go watch that?
Who did the Beckett interview? Jeremy?
No, with Kirk. Beckett did an interview with Kirk.
I totally missed that too.
Yeah,
I missed that too.
Yeah, I might even have the timestamp on it. I wrote a whole bunch I have 2 pages of notes on this. There, I wrote some timestamps.
Because I thought he was specifically asked, and he said, no grading companies ever reach out to me to talk about this.
No, he had said I just done a video or a interview with Beckett. So unless I misheard and it's not Beckett and it's Breckett, I don't know. But I thought that was really interesting. And one of the other things was that Nat Turner had reached out to him about cleaning a card and how he did it. So was that on the fact of, how do you do this and he's getting away with it? Or how do I do this myself so I can get my cards through?
I don't think that's what Nat was doing.
Why not?
Wouldn't it be funny if Nat was sending it to Kurt's card? In fact, I thought about this. Like, if Kurt's were to become like a banned thing, it's almost like having a blacklist, like an escort list. And if you found his customer list,
they can't ban it. They can't ban it. It would fall under you trying to shut down a company.
I understand, but I would say, again, my opinion of it is I'm not against it, but I don't want to be associated with it. Does that make sense?
I don't care. Yeah, you can. It's everybody's opinion. I mean? The problem. So here's the thing. What's the biggest issue with Kirk's product? What's the biggest issue?
I don't think there's a big issue with this product. I don't know. I just think
the last I checked, it's only as good as the person doing it too.
That's true. That's a very good point that was made.
He can sell all the tools. He can sell all the stuff that does stuff. But do you know how to do it? Do I know how to do it? Does somebody willing to take a chance? We all keep thinking that people are turning, like he was saying, a 4 into a 10. When, like the vintage cards, yeah, he can take a 1 and get it to a 3. If the best ever, maybe a 4. Okay.
Yep.
But and it's very certain rare cards. That's a big deal. But for the majority of people, that's not truly changing that pop count that most people are concerned with.
Yep.
Okay. Now, when you're talking about a modern card, which is built completely different, has a top layer that's basically a piece of plastic or a piece of surface that's like a car, and yes, you can wax it. You can fill stuff in. Do we know long term what's going to do it? No, but we also know what long term means. He's been testing this stuff, he said, for over 10 years.
It sounded, though, his wax, he said, did
polish.
not stay.
Polish, not wax.
Polish. You're right. Because I was going to say, like, I've got cards that have dimples in them or little dings, and I've talked to people, you cannot fill it because, again, a grader can see the fill. Like, he even showed you under blacklight.
Again, that's why I got notes, and I want to kind of do a video standalone, but I mean, I know certain people watch certain things, but he said when it dries white, and if you can't tell, put a black light over it, and you'll see where it still is. So you're still removing it from the card. but it's also cleaning stuff off of the card. Okay, like I had a card that I gave to Mr. Mincy. I couldn't get the smudge off with just regular whatever spray that I was using in a
Yeah.
microfiber. It wouldn't come off. He used a little bit of polish in that area, and it wiped right off. It was from the manufacturer that way. So I could send the card back. They're going to laugh at me. But, and I disclosed that. So it's just like, okay, it was just on the surface and something got it off. It wasn't that I did something new to the surface. But one of the arguments they were making later in the video was, you know, I don't know if you've ever seen the video of the guy that pulls the Michael Jordan. He breaks the cracks the slab. He's got the backwards hat, kind of long hair.
Yeah, yeah.
And he breaks it and he spits on it and then he cleans it off. Well, didn't he just alter that card by cleaning it?
Again, I also just make a comment that all this alteration stuff isn't new. Like they did this in the 80s, they did it in the 70s, they've done it before.
Correct.
For all you know,
so
these cards have been soaked and washed.
They
and,
have.
You know,
correct. And
molested.
Everybody keeps using Orlando's card as an example. Nobody knows who cleaned Orlando's card. Okay. Yeah. Nobody knows what that stain is. If it's oil based, it's like clothing. It's going to come back. It never actually goes away. Okay. Or just like a spot on the floor. You clean your carpet. Oh, it looks great. You walk over it for 2 days and you're like, damn, spot's back. If it's oil, it wins. If it's something that's water based, it should come completely out. But I mean, I see two different sides of it. I get both sides of it, but I also get the fact that you're never going to be able to disclose it. People probably won't care because how many people buy the slab over the card now?
Most.
Majority, yes. And all of us outside the old vintage guys, I'll call them the crotchety guys because that's what the younger guys like to say. The crotchety guys that are set in their ways. But like they were saying, even Jeremy said it, listen, there's a new breed of people in the hobby. In the next 10, 15 years, those people that are complaining about it will have to either accept it, stay within it, or get out of its way. It's accepted. You clean a card at a show, you walk it right over to PSA and you give it to them. They give you a high five and a thumbs up. They take your money and they'll go grade it.
Yep.
They don't care.
Well, I thought what was interesting is I thought Kurt was a little bold, kind of declaring that, you know, somebody stood up and changed the comic industry. I'm going to stand up and change the card. And he was kind of like,
you have to have that mentality though. I get where he's coming from. Listen,
I'll put it this way. I think Evan Matthews has the same mentality.
No, right? Evan Matthews has a completely different mentality. his mentality is completely 100% deceived. Okay. He is 100% altering. Yeah. But he's also showing you how to alter. That's what everybody gets upset about. Well, he's showing somebody else how to be devious.
Here's my thought. I would have loved to ask Kurt is that I want you to explain to me how you made this into a full-time business, like revenue-wise. Like you're employing 9 people and you've got a very controversial five people. He's got a very controversial product. Like, if his sales were to plummet one day, that could change everything.
And this is why I'm saying it's not going away.
And he's also like even commented he's in a very you know, things are good right now, but they could change a lot in the future. Like competition could easily come in. In fact,
so right now, and that's why I said, and I don't remember if it was a comment there or somewhere else. Don't be surprised if a grading company comes out with their own cleaning toolkit.
They should,
and they should. They better do it quick because whoever wins that race is going to win.
I mean, collectors should buy Kurt.
That's what they may do at the end of the day, but he might be so stubborn he won't do it. But if you give him a fancy guitar,
how would
you shake a right guitar in front of him, I'll give it to you.
But he's got to be able to ask this. How would people feel about collectors buying Kurt's card care? Would that really just set people off, or what?
No, because they're going to claim it's just a second. Yeah, of course, it's going to set them off. But who's them?
Because you're basically endorsing and say, yeah, this is an approved product to use.
Who is them?
That camp. They discuss the camps. There's one camp who's against it and one camp who's for it. I don't know.
I don't know anybody in the camp. I mean, I know people that don't like it because they want, like they say, they want their cards to look old, their age. Yet they want a PSA 10 Mickey Mantle that looks like it came out of a pack that does not look old, does not look aged, does not look worn. They want a 9, they want 8. You want to know why? Because they want to be high in the registry. Just like coin. It's about the stupid registry. If grading never existed, this crap wouldn't even be going on right now. Okay? The root cause of this is grading. Grading and value and how much this has exploded. Otherwise, we wouldn't care so much.
I will say it's a fun time, though. As much as I call grading magic and wizards and grading's crazy, it's a fun time. Like I'll even say the whole acquisition last week. Oh, here's another thing. When I'm on my eBay or my PSA app, it gives me the option right now to send to ship home, send to vault, or send to golden. Like I already have the option to send to Vault, and I guess Vault would be then I can go to eBay, right? That's eBay Vault to sell on eBay.
Correct. Yeah.
That's
But
freaking
then,
awesome, guys.
but again, that's great for a resale thing. But the people that are complaining about all this are the hobby collectors, which this hobby isn't so much a hobby anymore. And if it is, you're not caring about buying a graded card. That's just
Well, again, I look at this. This fuels your ability to be in the hobby, right? You can make so much money. Like I'm not a base card collector. I'm a base card flipper. Like I like to flip the silvers so I can get a numbered card, and I think that's the great thing about it. It makes it easier. It makes it a machine.
Yeah, but we're getting. I mean, we have a slab issue a little bit, but it's to the point we also have slab ignorance as well, because now a raw card isn't valuable because it's raw, or why isn't it graded? Anytime you go to a show, you look down, you're like, you see graded, then raw, and you're like, that's a banger. This past week, a refractor Michael Jordan from was that what's the first year for refractor for top
92, 95. I have no idea.
It's like 95, I think, or something.
Not a 90.
But again, they had a $900 sticker on it, not graded. You're talking if that card even it wasn't going to grade a 10, even in a 9, you're looking at 4 or 5K. It looked like a 9, but why would you sell it for 900? In a case of people that have all these $100,000 graded cards, that doesn't make sense. That means tells me something else is going on there.
I agree.
Or it's
I would say though,
So
I mean, so. Again, I do know there are people who will take a chance on that, who will look it over, eyeball it, negotiate it down to, I don't know, $700, and then they'll sub it twice, right? And they'll one time get the PSA card they want to get.
When I see a card like that in a case with somebody that I consider that knows exactly what they're doing, I feel like that's more of a trimmed card. I mean, that card should be out in that case raw.
That's why I don't like selling raw cards. I sell everything I can graded and raw. I normally will send to ComC right now. I used to send a couple raw to DC87, and even that I don't like to do.
Yeah, so. It's just it's sketchy. Now that, and you got to understand, some of these big consigners that people send raw to, they look the card over first, so they know whether or not they need to win a bid on eBay because the card's going to grade higher. They can bid on their own stuff, and you never know it because we know.
Yeah, I agree. Oh, I know, because I look at it, I see it pop up. I know I could. I'm not going to do it. I think again, it's so funny. I was thinking about that today too. Like they give you the link of all your bids, your items for sale. You could actually share that. I don't even like to do that. You know what I'm saying? I don't even want to promote that I have these items on DC87. I'm just kind of quiet. I don't tell anybody about them until after they sell. I know you could promote it. There's nothing wrong with that. You can say to your buddies, here are all my cards for sale. Bid on my stuff. That's what people do when they're, running whatnot channels. It's interesting about that. I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's funny. I was talking to somebody, my ideal sales is to sell wholesale to a dealer. I have several dealers that I work with locally that I'll just sell to them what I have. So what do we got here? So any good stuff?
I think Kirk's Card Cares is the same way. I think counterfeit money, if done well, it looks like real money, but it still ain't worth shit. Well, listen, fake money, at least I can take a pen usually on it and write across it. And if it ain't yellow and it turns black, I know it's fake. I can't do that with Kirk's Card Care. Plus, who's going to take a pen to the card? So, but yeah, I get what you're saying. Again,
I could see.
It's one of those things. I'm tempted to just buy the product right now because I want to take the product and I want to clean half of a card. And then I want to use different lights and different things that you would use to identify things elsewhere to see if I can pick anything up.
Yep.
That's the biggest complaint is how can you tell it's done? And you may not be, because if you do remove all of it, and all it does is create a smoother surface because it removed any residue, I think probably it's taking away even what it's taking away. I don't know what the limitation is anymore.
I also think it's interesting. There's some creative things that I'd just like to test as well. Like I'd like to take this an old garbage card and soak it to see how it does that crease reversing. I think that's amazing to me. I really do.
I'm going to soak a Johnny Unitas card that I have up here somewhere that I bought the other day for like $2.
And I can see how people do this as a hobby.
It's my card. I'm never going to sell it. I'm just curious to see how it works.
It's kind of like people detailed, certain items like little trains or put together models. I could see how you could go pick up a couple old, vintage cards for whatever they cost. I'm not a vintage guy. And then clean them up with your Kurt's Card Care kit and then try it. I don't know. I mean, why not?
My thing is who set all these rules, these unwritten rules in the hobby? Because we don't even know what the rule is on grading. But somebody set all these other rules in place, and the only person I could think of would be Dr. Beckett, because Beckett Magazine was making the rules. I mean, what's the big argument right now? XRC or the Jordan Star card being the rookie versus the Fleer.
Well,
if you really narrow it down, it's the Star card. It really
He
is.
was he had a really good chat with I want to say Brian Gray. Is it Brian Gray? What's this guy's name? Brian Leaf? Brian Gray? I keep mixing it up.
Brian
But they
Gray.
had a really good chat.
I listened to it.
And I really here's a takeaway I have is that what it really comes down to is scarcity, right? If you have something from like the pre-war, there's a lot of scarcity into it. So people, I don't want to say they're more accepting, but they want that card, right? So if it's altered, they're okay with it being altered because they have this piece of history. If you were to
Correct.
fast forward in the future, people might feel the same way about stuff from this era. They might want scarcity. However, I think there's just so much stuff being made that the only way to create scarcity is with a number, right? Like,
Well, most guys that
that's why
collect that old stuff don't collect new stuff very much.
no, I
They
agree.
go after a player here and there, but they're not looking at trying to break product unless it's just for funsies for a minute. They're still looking like John Mangini. He still looks for old, rare, different things.
Well, that's why the modern hobby is a casino, and the classic hobby is a collector's paradise.
No, it was a bunch of tricks, but it was a bunch of tricksters too. Because back then they knew how to trim cards. It was easier to do because it was easier to get away with because nobody was measuring a card back then. There was no grading company to tell somebody that was authentic. Remember, that didn't come about until the 90s, late 90s.
And the reason we have grading is because people basically were trying to cheat each other. They were trimming the card, tell you the corner sharp.
So when grading was created, they were trying to create a new level of rarity, is what they were attempting to do. Okay, they created an entire new division of the hobby. A branch came off of the hobby when grading was created. Because remember, grading was not accepted. People laughed. They're like, "Why would I give you my card and put it in a stupid case? Like, who are you to tell me how good my card is?" And very few people were looking for the best copy. They were just looking for one they were the most happy with.
So I'll tell you, my first entrance to grading was I got back in the hobby like 2015, 16. I used to buy raw cards, and then I got introduced to this Facebook group called Slab Hut. Mm-hmm. And a card that was, I don't know, base card would go for 3 or 4x because it was graded at the time a 9.5. Yeah. And Slab Hut, and people probably know about this face group, turns out that basically one guy was buying raw cards on eBay, send them down to his friend who was right in Dallas, who cleaned the cards. And this is a guy that people know about. He's been mentioned on Sports Card Radio. Mm-hmm. He would walk over to Beckett, get them graded, and then send them his friend in New York who put them on the Facebook group. And it shocked me. I was like, how is this 3x? And somebody gave me this whole explanation about the multipliers. I'm like, this makes no fucking sense. And again, another friend of mine said,
"Don't remember, try to make sense all that hobby. All that was made up, completely made up."
I know that's what my friend said. He goes, "Don't try to use logic in the hobby. Just because a guy tells you it's 3x because it's a gem mint, if it's a 10, it's 5x." He goes, "There's no science behind this. This is just the way they've made it up." And at the time, I thought it was bullshit. But what happened was when COVID hit, you had so many uneducated people coming in that they bet off on a 10 is better than a 9.5 with
you also had everybody coming in at a time where it was easy to do it too. Nothing was going down, everything was going up. Everything had an up arrow in the Beckett. It was all up. You flip a page, it was black and it was up. That's just how it was. I never left the hobby. I just didn't collect as much. I picked and choose.
Let me ask you.
But I never left the hobby.
We passed the 4-year anniversary of COVID. I'm going to ask you something. Back on March 11th, 2020, when the shit got shut down, did you think for a minute that the cards were going to take off, or were you thinking to yourself, shit, I better sell some of this?
No.
Because I will tell you, I thought to myself, I better sell some shit. Because I had a bunch of cards, and for a few weeks, things were dipping. I sold immediately for a few days on Facebook, because I was thinking, man, the economy's going to shut down. Cash is going to be king. I'm turning as much cards as I can to cash. And then things boomed. I was like, what the hell's going on? Like, I was
away free money.
By that.
They gave away free money, and people said, "Well, I'm getting paid to be at home, so let me make some more money." And then the Last Dance thing came out, and that I'm telling you, that Jordan in the Last Dance is what caused this hobby to go nuts.
Well, also the hobby watched that. We watched it every week together, and then we all listened. Like, I'll be honest, I was a big fan at the time of House of Jordan, and we tune in to listen to them talk about the episode that happened that week. And then there was just a hype machine going. But hey, I'm gonna switch topic here real quickly. I want to ask you about Fanatics Fest. Are you going? Where's it ranked for national for you? What are your thoughts on it?
So I don't consider it a national. I consider this more of a convention for the general hobby person that's looking for something upper level. Is what I'm assuming this is going to be like more than anything. I don't compare it to a national. Those are two completely different things. My biggest thing that I'm curious about is, since they're Fanatics, they own Tops and all that stuff. I'm assuming there's going to be little to no presence of Panini there or even any other brand. Like, it's just going to be very brand centric, to where even the dealers or whoever might be selling cards can't sell the other product. Like, you can't have a Prism Wemby there. You need to have
No,
a
I didn't hear that. I
No,
did
no, but
hear.
I'm that's what I'm thinking about is what they're going to do, because I don't know if they're going to make this a general hobby thing or if they're going to really seclude other things that we have within the hobby and make it all about Fanatics branding, because they're a brand company at the end of the day. So I do see possibly some restriction there on that. I don't know if they can actually get away with trying to do that because there's just too much influence with Panini, especially with football, and football right now being by far the number one selling thing at a show, then followed by basketball right now. So I just don't think they have enough with just Tops in baseball right now to really push anything. And unless they're coming out with some new product that they're going to release either at the national or discuss at the national and then drop there, which would be the smartest thing that they could do. That would be a different story. But yeah, I do want to go. It sucks that it's so close to the national.
Yeah.
It's kind of expensive to go to New York and stay in New York for a few days. It's just, I really wish it was almost like a month later than what it is. Versus when it's going to be. But again, things line up specific ways when you're getting venues and things like that. So it is what it is. I do want to go. I don't know if I'll end up getting to go. I did think about buying a VIP pass just to have one, just in case they're selling for double later. And I can't go, and then I could just sell it. Because we don't know what they're giving away.
Yeah.
We don't know
they
what type of
exchangeable
interaction there is. I don't know.
Did you check? Yeah, I don't know either.
I have no idea.
I thought the same thing. I thought to myself, I want to get a VIP pass just in case. I definitely want to go. I definitely am going to plan to go. I don't see any way I could do 3 days, right? So then I'm thinking to myself, do I want the VIP pass and use it? Could I transfer it on 1 or 2 days? But I'll tell you, man, to me, it's a higher priority than anything in the hobby as far as events this year. I think
trying to figure out how they would
keep
it. I don't know how they would keep the tempo so high for 3 days, because I know darn well the Friday going in is going to be just off the chain. There'll probably be Steve Aoki when you walk in, jamming out, and Tom Brady throwing footballs across the arena to Peyton Manning. I don't freaking know. It might be like a circus of just amazement. Like, this is like fantasy land for me. I have no idea what's going on right now, but I like it. But can they sustain that for 3 days? No way in hell.
To me, what gets my attention is in the VIP pass, the comment it says, skip the line on product drop. Ding, 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 dude. So in my mind, I'm thinking there's probably really good exclusive to the conference only product drops.
Well,
maybe they're going to drop the logo fractors.
Well, they might
for
be
example,
a
logo fractor
VIP bag where you just get a set of cards that you're guaranteed stuff.
Yeah. So I'll put it this way. I don't see that. I think I'll also say this too. From my experience going to the national, I hustle at the national. I go follow all the free games and get the packs and everything.
I'm all about just all the freebies, enjoying it.
I have paid for my way to the national every time I've gone based on the free stuff that's there. I think that going to this VIP event, I think you can easily cover your $400, $500 on the VIP stuff. What I'm worried about is New York City, like you said, hotel nights, food,
the cheapest, best area that I've seen that's available right now is you're looking at like $250 to $285 a night.
Yeah, I know. That's what concerns me. So I would tell you, I'm in DC. I could easily, and I've done this before. I used to go up to New York City all the time for a day. I'd take the early train at 5 a.m. I'd sleep on the train. I spend the day up there. I take the train back at night. So I can easily do that for a Saturday. But I think I would probably end up doing a hotel and staying. But to me, I'll say this too. I'm excited that Fanatics is doing this. I don't care. Like, everybody's talking about the Northeast National or whatever that's going on at the same time. I honestly don't think Fanatics even knows about that. Like, I don't think Fanatics pay. Like, I don't think the people
I've heard about it before, but like, I don't know anybody going out of their way over the regular national for that.
I think they're oblivious to it. Like, they're really just running their machine, and they probably found out that, hey, the Javits Center is available this weekend. Their schedules worked. One guy doesn't have to go to a wedding. Say, hey, let's make it this weekend. And they didn't go, oh, it's the same time as other dealer conference. And I also have people talking about how they're going to compete with the national. I want to remind everybody, the national has always been dealers. It's just it's a dealers congress.
Yeah, it's different. It's a completely different show.
Yeah, it used to not have any sponsorship at all. Like, the biggest sponsor was the Breakers Pavilion in 2016 when I went. There weren't these big corporate sponsors. I think Panini was a sponsor and Topps had a booth, but there weren't these major sponsors. So to me, I'm thinking like national. I'm gonna not go as much to the national, probably 1 or 2 days now. And although I was going to go pretty hard on Topps Chrome with the National, I now have to hold back for those product drops. I think you could see. I think you could see basketball and football product drops. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, I keep waiting for something. They
I
own
know,
people that they can't use, and
but
even if they just make a product up, and this is where I get mad at a lot of things because I have that creative juice where creating cards and doing fun things. And you have AI now, and you're using art, and nobody's challenged the stupid licensing freaking rule for forever. Which I think Panini may end up doing that at some point in order to just try and put their foot in the ground and be like, you know what, you're big, but you're not going to knock us down. Otherwise, they might as well just implode and just sell the crap to Fanatics because they're just growing. At this point, they're absorbing things as they go. So,
well, it's really
yeah.
crappy. Like I said, it's really like the. I'm disappointed in the number of autographs that are available in football.
Yep.
I'm
Mm-hmm.
disappointed in the Wemby autographs. And let's be honest, there's no Scoot, there's
Some
no
of their
Miller.
products are broken. The products are broken right now.
And here's what I'm also expecting. Like, do you think they're going to like come out next year? Like, they're going to milk this? And like, I guess here's my question: at what point are Victor Wembanyama's autographs no longer rookie autographs? Is it as soon as next season starts in October?
Well,
Can they
why? Well,
milk
National
this?
Treasure. Well, the National Treasure card won't come out until next year. 3 months from now. So, by
But I'm
that
talking.
time,
I'm
Fanatics might
talking
have
with
them
Topps
sign
here.
them. I don't know. I have no idea. I don't. When are the licenses up? I know. Do we have a license coming up in 2025? We have a license coming up in
I think they
2020.
still have basketball for another full year on both products, or basketball and football for
So
another
that's
full
what I'm
year.
saying. We need to figure out where that line is
Yep.
that they can start just dropping product. Like, is there a single day that you can say, okay, it's up. You this on this day you can begin. Because at that point they can release the product on that day. They can do all the advertising they want for 5 months, and then that day it just turns into a flaming shit show. But that's probably what they'll end up doing.
I honestly would love to. I don't know. I just find it obnoxious. Like they could both make money. I don't know. It just pisses me off. I want to answer a little bit of this question. Someone's asking about Topps Chrome Black. I saw that it's out. Is that this year's class or last year's class?
I don't know. No idea. I mean,
Because
I know
I was
Tops is
confused by
dropping
that.
2024 product, but I don't know if there's still 2023 overlapping.
Well, I thought it was supposed to be last year's class, but and I'll say this: I just was listening a little bit to Jeff was opening it at Sports Card Investor, which
Yeah,
I have to be
I saw
honest,
it.
it really is annoying to listen to him break product now. He is a terrible salesperson when he's trying to talk about how great the product is,
It's
the great
because he
value this is.
doesn't turn what he thinks is on off.
It's
That's
okay.
why.
It's okay.
That's
But as he's opening it,
he's just not that guy, but he's trying to continually be the face of the company like he should. But
yeah,
he doesn't have the other two guys are not face people at all. Like they're 10,000 times worse than him. So he doesn't have that guy. I mean, Teapot has a good character and stuff like that, but he's still very deliverable straight away, not as a loose, selling something on QVC type deal. He doesn't have that guy yet. He needs that
yeah.
likable guy that can just roll with it, understand something, and move with it, and just say some quick stuff and move. He's
Well,
not
I'll tell
that
you,
guy. He's still very robotic.
here's a question I have about this. So he opens this product, and there is a rookie autograph. This is Topps Chrome up today of a prospect for the Baltimore Orioles who's in AA League.
Yeah.
But it was a rookie card. How is that possible?
You get sent back down to the minors.
But I don't think he ever was called up because they're talking about this. He's
He could
saying,
have got called up last year for 3 days. Okay, that means he gets a top debut patch and he's been in the league.
okay,
But
I'll
you
just say
have to
this.
play.
I'm going to
Hold
follow.
on, hold on. Baseball, you have to play so many days
Yeah,
to be
he doesn't qualify
considered
for that.
correct. So he can still be in the product though because he played. That's how
But
that works.
okay, I'll just say this was a suspicious one. I don't think he was ever called up. I'm going to follow up with Victor. I forget the player's name because anyway, they had LA Cruz in here and they called that rookie card his true rookie in Topps Chrome. So I'm
Yeah, because
assuming
it's all is that's 2024. Then if it's Dela
okay.
Cruz is in it as rookie, that's 2024 because him and Dominguez were the two main guys in the 2024 Top Series one.
So there was no 23 Black Chrome then.
I want to say there was, but I don't know. I don't follow Black Chrome. Tops, there's just too many versions of the same shit.
I don't disagree.
And the
Anyways,
things,
yeah.
the adoption of what you want is all over the place. I couldn't even rate them because there's probably 25 to go through. It's ridiculous at this point. They're kind of burning themselves. I understand they're spitting product out and breakers are going to break product. And that's the only reason that this even works. Otherwise, it wouldn't even work without breakers. If they were coming out with product like this, people would not buy all this shit. There's just and no way in hell. Someone needs to create a card recycler like plastic.
Should breakers be regulated?
No.
We talked about this. You say no.
No. What are you going to do? It's too much.
I don't know. But how do we fix it then? How do we fix it then?
You wait for something bad enough to happen, a lawsuit big enough to happen, to cause something else to happen. It's a domino effect.
Okay,
Until the first domino truly falls.
What would that be? In my mind, I would say a bunch of parents get together and they sue the hell out of Backyard Breaks for running illegal gambling and and marketing to their 13-year-old kids who've been spending. I don't know.
How's illegal gambling?
Because you're not supposed to run a lotto raffle without state permission, from what I understand. I don't know, man, but
I know what you're saying. So yes,
I'd go after gambling and targeting kids. Let's say if some lawsuit comes out.
Here's a little fun thing when you're running a raffle. If it's called a chance drawing and not a raffle, you can get away with it.
Well, I put it this way: you're not supposed to do it on Facebook. People get in trouble for doing. That's why they hide it. But I mean, I know it happens, right? And they will shut them down.
I'm just telling you, there's a workaround on it. I'm telling you right now, there's already a work. I work nonprofit, and you're not allowed to do that as nonprofit, and you just change the verbiage, and then it's okay.
Okay, so anyway, so what would it take then? Is it a wife who's mad because her husband spent $60,000 on a breaker and she sues?
No, because that's her husband's fault for being an idiot.
What if it's her son who stole her credit cards and bought $60,000 in breaks?
If somebody stole something and did something, that's not their fault. You want to point the finger at them for doing something? No, it does. It's not going to change. No. The only thing that's going to change is the way that Fanatics and stuff drops product, who they give it to, and who they allow to open it. That's going to be the biggest change. Okay, because their Fanatics Live was built to be a whatnot killer. Okay, they bring in these other hobbyists to break.
I got an idea.
You're controlling a market.
Okay, so I got an idea for like if you can't beat them, you join them, right? If you can't change the breaking, you just jump into it, right? Make your own.
You really want to? I mean, you have to.
What do you think about an OnlyFans breaking channel? Hot girls opening hot boxes. Would that not work?
It would be better if it was hot repacks.
I don't care, but hot box sounds better than hot repack. No one wants a repack.
We've already seen if you get a mildly decent looking girl breaking a product, people will flock to it. Okay, because the men have a certain direction. All right, and just like I don't know if you've ever seen the Instagram and the guy that chops wood, things like Bradley Thor or something. Girls go nuts. I mean, if he's breaking product, those girls are going to go look at that damn product.
No, I agree. Sex sells. There's a channel I've been watching. Dark Horse.
Just image sells. Remember that's something that mentally leads to sex. Outside, so you're selling an image.
That's what I'm saying. If I made an OnlyFans page where you came in and you got to meet really classy women,
you ain't meeting
and you got to get product at cost, but you had to pay a membership. Is that a good way to go, or would you charge more for the product? And
I don't think you'd ever be able to get to that point from the manufacturers.
How are they going to stop you?
You would have to. Well, you're not going to buy it cheap enough. That's the thing with Fanatics controlling everything.
I can cover the cost.
Control the price.
Have you seen how much Pull Wax Dude charges for breaks? The guy's raping people. I think I could charge good money.
But you got to understand, people get to the point that they feel lucky with certain breakers, and there's people that are regulated to. They'll pay.
Oh, you'll feel real lucky with my breakers. You'll feel.
But I mean, I break with people that I could go somewhere cheaper.
Look, listen to this. Listen. Everybody gets a skunk pack.
That's cool. I've been in breaks to where at the end of the thing, if you don't hit anything, they bring 4 or 5 cars out, they randomize them, and everybody gets a card.
If your girl kisses a little envelope and sends you a skunk pack, if you get nothing in the break,
that's pretty. Can you pay extra if she licks it?
Would you support my breaking group if I ran this? If I launched it? All I want to do is handle shipping. And distribution.
I'm not going to go watch some OnlyFans channel with a 7 on it. I mean, you'd be 9.5. They don't have to be smart. They just got to at least know the guy's name when they break the product.
Have you, part of this warped idea is coming. Have you watched the, what's that South Park special that's out right now? Have you seen, do you watch South Park at all?
I know about it, yeah.
You know I'm talking about, the influencer one?
Yeah, I know.
And Randy opening the OnlyFans channel?
Yeah.
I think breaking on OnlyFans is the place to go, because let's be honest, kids are on
if you're breaking these.
Yes.
The autograph, they're numbered. If that's part of the product, then yes, I'd be interested in it.
You could do so many
more of an iconic women's set that I'm making, actually.
High quality box breaks. real adult entertainment.
I mean, I don't know if you've ever seen the guy that sells the autographed Kiss cards only on eBay, for instance, and he has some type of pull with all these uh, semi-famous to famous models, wrestlers. They're all females, and he
Yeah.
does Kiss autograph cards that he does directly with them. He even has videos of them doing it, so it's extremely legit. And he sells them on eBay, and then they make their way to other places. You could probably partner with him and
In
get
fact,
some extremely rare one of a type stuff.
here's my thought on this. I'm going to set this up as a franchise because I want the girl to be empowered. I want her to have the business, and all I'm going to do is sell her the product, right? So I have a break schedule. Hey, this week you're going to get a box of tops. You're going to get a box of this. Here's your checklist. Here's the product description.
The thing
They
is
sell
there
the product. I pick it
there
up. I
are
ship it out
women
to
that
them.
like this hobby that are attractive. You just gotta
But
go
what I want,
find.
but what we're talking about the next level here on OnlyFans. I don't want to be rude, but we're going to step it up a level.
Yeah, good luck to you. I think people feel bad even if they have an account to log into OnlyFans.
Hey, you know what? My point to this, my reason for this, if I can do that, maybe I can provoke change. Maybe they'll be like, you know what? Someone needs to regulate this shit. Ziggy is running an online OnlyFans breaking group that's crushing it. Have you seen the loaded boxes he gets over there?
No,
Oh
no.
my God.
This
His
would be
boxes are
better.
loaded.
Go major league style where she's wearing stickers on the cards, and you have to buy the card to remove them to see the rest.
Oh, I love that idea.
See? Works great. You
So
get
I'll tell you,
there's numbers all over her. You hit a randomizer, you get that number gets removed. She
I
can
was
pay to keep it, but you have to outbid her to remove it.
I was at a restaurant with a friend and I was talking to the waitress and asked her about would she be interested. I was trying, I don't want to
Why are
sound
you asking
sleazy
girls random questions?
because I don't want to sound sleazy. It's going to sound sleazy, but we had a deeper conversation. She wants to become an actress. I said, have you ever heard about sports card breaking? You should get into breaking. And I told her about that. And she was shocked by the fact that people would pay for that. I'm like, look, just go pull up on YouTube, breaking and a product. And she was watching, this is boring. I'm like, yeah, but if you added a woman's touch, people will pay a lot for it.
Very
and then you mentioned
are
Allie.
exciting when they break.
Did you see that Allie from Titan Breaks is now working for Jeff?
Yeah, because they're partners. Well, there was kind of a CGC tie there as well.
I didn't even realize that. I mean, she moved from Florida, I believe it was, to Atlanta to be a breaker there.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm saying.
I talked to her at the Atlanta show, and I live here in Tampa, so I mean, when she would come over into the areas here, I'd see her all the time. Yeah, she was just kind of moving around, trying to feel out everything. Is really what had going on because Titan Cards is in St. Pete, where she worked, and I'm in Tampa, so it's fun. So I mean, 30 minutes away.
They must be missing her, man.
It was a thing.
Because I'm not
like, somebody didn't want to go a certain direction. They made that decision, so they went their separate ways.
She sold a lot of their Upper Deck product. Like I remember she had a whole little issue with Upper Deck, and like the audience, the people came and rallied around her. Really, I mean, I have nothing negative to say. I've never broken with her, but I did think it's interesting to see that. So I think there's a huge market there. We'll see. I think I could retire.
Card porn money. I don't want to see that.
Card porn. I didn't say card porn.
No, I know cardboard money. You got card porn in your head. Because if you go down, Philly Joe's next up here. He says, "Where are
Bobbles might call me a grifter." I think I'm giving people jobs by helping them, and also
no. Go down to cardboard. Go back. Go. There's that one there. That's just funny. Card jail. Nobody said anything about roofies. I don't even know where to get roofies. There's better stuff out there now.
Why don't they call them flories?
Have a 101. Yeah. Well, why don't they call them crazy? But love to see Bob.
Let me just say, I'll just say this honestly.
I want that.
If my subber, the person I sub cards through, sent my card back to get a lower grade, I would sue him.
Listen, here's the problem: is the majority of the people that are breaking, you need to find honest people. That's the first thing, because we've seen the dishonesty, and there's a lot of dishonest people still in the stupid hobby saying, "I made a mistake. I was trying to steal your card." No, you're done. Out the window. You go away. Okay, you go.
But they don't.
Island for you. Go away. All right, but they don't, and people still go and believe whatever nonsense happens, and they break with them. All right, I don't get it. But
that's why
you just move along. It's all you can do. You just move along.
Yeah.
My job is not to sit here and go, "You suck. I'm going to yell at you." I just get to ignore you moving forward. I'm fine with that.
But I also, like, for example, I don't buy a break because of the person. I buy a break because of the cost and the product, the availability of the product that I want, and the cost of the product. The breaker is the last thing I think about.
So, but do you feel that you would go with a breaker that seems to hit more often big cards?
Absolutely.
feel like you
If
have
their
a great
product
product.
is if their product is cheap
But
and
would
I can get into
but
it,
would no,
yeah.
hold on. Would you pay a little more knowing that these people have a consistency to seem like they get loaded boxes? Would you take a chance that maybe a 10% hike
Yes.
a break? See, so there's value in that. And this is the angle that Fanatics is going to use through the Fanatics Live because they know what's in the product. If they're and they serial number, they know what's in it.
I,
There's cards that we still haven't seen that have
let me
pretty
ask you this.
big bounties on that we have no idea where they are.
What do you think about a breaker hitting a big chase card in their own breaks?
They shouldn't be allowed to be in their own break.
Well, the Filth dude guy, Filth Bomb, one of the guys in his thing hit the one of those chase cards from the baseball where the guy was offering tickets for whoever pulls a card, and then everybody's rallying around him to get him in touch with the baseball guy. I'm thinking to myself, this
So
is a
here's the thing
problem.
I do know. So sometimes I've seen breakers run breaks that didn't fill. Okay.
Yep.
And they just accept pay. They'll pay for the rest
I
of
know.
the team themselves.
I know.
Which that because they got to get a break going. I understand
know.
it. I get that. And then they end up hitting something big. What are they supposed to do?
I understand, but my problem with it,
What,
I'll
I mean,
go
what are they
back
supposed to do?
is it doesn't look good when they hit a big chase card. I understand
It
that happens.
doesn't,
In
but
fact,
it's going to happen.
I understand it happens. That's also why repacks take place, because when those breakers hit those cards that they don't want, they put them in repacks. Breakers are the ones that, in my opinion, made repacks popular, right? Repacks have always been around, but it's the breakers who are just getting rid of extra inventory.
But what makes because people are abusing the repack thing too. If you do a repack properly, at the
No
end of the day,
such
you're
thing.
trying to hit big. Yeah, there is. There's a
No
big.
such thing.
Yeah, yes, there is, Ziggy. There's a way to do something to make profit for the work and time and all the money you put into it to make a stupid 10% back on a break that you went and spent and you bought a $5,000 card to be your header, and you got a list of all the other cards, and if the break sells out, that's what it is. Sell the break out, then rip all the product. That's it. Boom. There's no way you can screw that up. That card's coming out. There's no hold. There's no bullshit. There's no flip aroundy duty. No.
Well, then I would also say
one
you need
shot.
to verify that all the cards in the product are not stolen or fake.
You're never going to be able to do that because people have stuff in their collection that are both.
I know, and that's why I love repacks, because it's a great way to move stolen cards.
But PSA and these companies that have these the grading systems and stuff with all the serial numbers, it's just some of that stuff's not available to us yet because there's not like a way to go to PSA and go, hey, this card's stolen. If anybody scans it, ping them. Because at that point,
Put it this way, again, if this was a legitimate industry like the diamond industry or the coin industry,
diamond industry is not a legitimate industry.
Well, and the point they have
that's
serial
the
numbers.
fakest industry in the damn country.
They have
the
serial
world,
numbers
really.
on the diamond. I mean, here you have serial numbers on cards,
stop.
and
Don't use diamonds. Diamonds the worst thing.
I don't know diamonds. I won't use diamonds, but I just put it this way: no one cares about stolen cards in the hobby. Like when a guy, remember the guy? There's a guy recently who lost his bag.
I care about stolen cards in the hobby because I don't want one stolen from me.
I agree, but I don't see any justice taking place, right? We see a lot of stolen cards out there. Nothing's being resolved.
The majority of cards that are stolen are just picked up off of a table, and guy keeps.
I even heard about how now there's some place where if it gets lost in the mail, they sell the card in an auction, and that becomes the person's property. What the fuck?
So let's say, okay, here, think about this. The mail's going through, something gets caught in somewhere, bust open, falls out.
Yep.
Somewhere in the conveyor belt thing. They find it at the end of the night. They don't know where it came from because there's probably about 30, 40, 60 other packages that had that problem. They're not going to reach out to each individual to try and figure it out. They wait for you to make a claim. If they can't do the due diligence to find it, they'll pay you out on the claim if there's insurance. If not, everything they get goes to auction. This is the same thing at the airport. They don't hold it in lost and found for you forever. They put it in a big box and they auction it at the end of the month. They all do it. That's just how it is. I mean, there's no right way to do it. That's why you have to pay to track stuff.
My challenge is there are certain things that you could use. Like, would they do it with a computer? I guess if a computer has my name on it, on the my business card on it, you're going to call me and tell me my computer's here. You're going to sell it. So the card has my
they would definitely call you. Well, it's like if I find a phone.
No, it just seems.
I can't even get into
the phone. It seems sketch to me. I was disappointed.
Fingerprint, the face lock. How am I supposed to find out until somebody texts it and I can see the text? I have no way to even get into the phone. You can't even get an emergency service. Especially if it's an iPhone.
I just tell you, man, I'd be furious. I felt bad for those people. That's why I don't buy cards.
Whatever.
What's this one?
What do you think of breakers?
I'm trying to think.
Employees that break.
We've had a good chat.
Just how it's going to be. I wonder if they're all treated by Kirk. They are
What
all
else is
treated
coming
by
up?
Kirk.
What's on
To
your
Kirk's
radar?
take, in that media, in that thing
You're
too,
waiting.
Kirk also said like 20,000 cards a month are probably being cleaned by his product and graded.
I did one time. He did say one of his favorite. He goes, once someone said, "Have you ever cleaned Babe Ruth or something like that?" He goes, "Yeah, one of my favorite restorations was." I thought that was funny. He called it restoration because he before was referring to as cleaning all the time. But
Well, again, everybody's going to
it
twist
was
and turn it. You
it
can
was
play
great.
it's English language is rough like that. But I mean, I understand the point. We allow certain things to be restored that are considered paper. Rolling with the FD showed the video of the lady restoring an original Star Wars poster, spraying it all down,
Yep.
flipping it over, squeegeeing it out. I'm like, and they're all like, "Yay, it looks awesome!" But we're over here like, "Boo, you suck!" It's just like, come on, guys. It's a collectible, no matter what. It's a hobby. If it's a hobby, there's no
Like I said,
intrinsic value.
I've known people cleaning cards since 2016. So it wasn't like I think this just made it more. This made it put in people's face like, hey, you know what? It's happening. And I don't
I
think people
remember
really wanted to
being
accept
at
that. But
my
it is
card
happening.
shop here when I was a kid in the early 90s, and the guy would say, "Yeah, this card looked like it was altered. I can't sell it." And that was before grading even existed. I mean, it was been going on forever. So it's just like, who's the shady guy and who's not? And you're just talking about cards that are worth $100, not even thousands at that point. Regarding Kirk, you can't fight a ghost.
Well, I have to wrap this up. I have to get back to the family. I appreciate
Right,
this
buddy.
hour, Mike. This has been
No
great.
problem, man. Yeah,
We'll be back in 2 hours. Anything cool coming up? Anything on your radar? Like I know you mentioned Bowman. Keep an eye out for Bowman Sapphire. Don't forget about that coming.
If I've been wanting to
You
get
know.
into probably an upper deck because I've had a lot of luck with Bedard, so I still have a few blaster boxes left.
Yeah,
But that's
yeah, you
completely
have.
dried up. I'd like to get into a hobby break of some sort just to see if that luck still. If I'm just a Bedard magnet and
Are
it just
you?
happens to be my guy.
Did you grade yours
Um,
yet?
no, I don't think any of
You
mine
send
are
yours off for
gradable
grading.
past. No, because the only one's going to grade a 9, the other two are going to grade an 8. I already know what they're going to grade. I
So
don't
what are you
need to
going to
worry
sell
about it.
them raw or keep them?
Right now, I'm just kind of waiting for everything to level out a little bit. His cards, I don't know if you've noticed, like the Young Guns, they're holding right now around that 400. So raw. So I just
Yep.
no, there's only going up unless he does something stupid personally. It's just I don't see a down. It's like Wemby, unless he does something stupid, there's no down. You know, it's just
Well,
they are who they are. I mean,
mine,
they're only going to get
mine
better.
currently, mine is currently on eBay for DC87, and I'm going to use that money to buy my VIP pass to the Fanatics. That's my plan.
Yeah, but how you
So
doing
I'm
the hotel
excited, man.
stuff and everything? That's the
Well,
problem. Total
like I
cost
said, I
going
don't
really
know.
a lot.
I will tell you, I have family in New York City that I could probably use if I needed to. Like I have family in the Bronx. It's kind of far from where the Javits Center is. I have some family in Midtown. And I also am really, it really comes down to how many days I'm going to be there. I could see just doing a 1-day train trip up and back. I also have to decide if I'm going to take a kid with me or not.
But if
If
you
I take
go
a son or
one
not, then I
day, I
probably would
think
stay.
you would be so upset to miss the following 2 days because I think they're going to do stuff
yeah.
to deliberately hold people there. Like they're going to keep giving out
Well,
stuff.
I want to be there Friday, Saturday, I think.
Yeah, but you know how they'll do Sunday.
Like I said,
They'll be
man,
oh, don't miss Sunday. If he does it right, that's what he's going to do.
I'm surprised more people aren't excited about it. Like how many people
I think
are
it's because we
skeptical about
don't.
it. I'm thinking it's the first one.
I think people are excited about it, but it's so close to the national, and we don't have enough information. I don't even know anybody.
But I'll put it this way,
doing
man. Like there's skepticism, like, oh, it's expensive. I think Jeremy Lee even said this.
It is.
The mint was $999. This thing's half that price. It's put on by Fanatics. They're going to include, like, I don't want to talk about it because I really don't want to sell out. I think it sucks. Nobody should go. Don't anybody go to it. It's going to be lame. Don't even talk about it anymore.
But I'm thinking if I go, I'm
Hey,
looking
man.
at least $2,500 all in.
Well, let me know if you do. I'd be happy to catch up with you, sync up, whatever. And I'll see you at the National as well, man. Hey, by the way,
All
for
right.
everybody watching, if you haven't already, go check out Flipping Steve. Follow his channel. He's doing a great job. He's also going to have a contest. Someone's going to go to National. And that's pretty cool, man. That's really cool.
He just printed his new downtown
Everybody thank you for joining me.
Go get him.
Thank you, everybody, for being here, listening. Have a great night. I'm just going to kill the whole thing, man. See you guys later.
No.